Hello, I have a little song. I heard there was a secret food that when you ate could make you poo, but you don't really care for spicy, do you? Put them on my nachos, please, and when you do, don't forget the cheese. My favorite little pepper, jalapeno. Jalapeno, jalapeno, jalapeno. Love the show. Power out.
TBTL.
What will your first sequence of the day be?
Computer load up, celery man, please.
He is a fan of the outrageous. He loves to surprise. He loves other things as well.
You guys are so fun. Just relentlessly fun. I keep thinking, when are they going to stop being fun? And the answer is never.
That was great. That was good. You went for it. I appreciate that.
What do you say we go out and get some Carvel?
I got the time if you got the diapers.
Well, all right. Hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Monday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
My name is Luke Burbank. I'm your host.
Yeah, oh yeah, buddy.
Coming to you from the Madrona Hill studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia.
Oh, Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
Watching a fairly large ship from a company called Ultra Bulk steam along the Columbia rivers with two, not one, two tugboats. I think two tugboats says it all. Two tugboats helping navigate it through the not so deep waters of the Columbia. They're going to be out here. Does anybody care about this? Probably not. They're going to be out here, I think, in the coming weeks and months, dredging the Columbia, reducing or increasing the depth, I should say, so that ships can get through there in one piece. But I think we're going to get through today's episode, hopefully in one piece. It's episode 4,529 in a collector series.
Let the fun begin.
Now, I was under the impression that over the weekend, Andrew was going to listen through and respond to all of the voicemail messages that had been left in the TBTL voicemail box.
Your voice is like a combination of Fergie and Jesus.
But I don't know what he got up to, but he apparently didn't do that. So we're going to, once again today, continue to clear out the TBTL voicemail line. Speaking of Andrew Walsh, he's right here, right now.
Booyah! In your face!
Known as the longest-running Cobra of the show, and also known for his drawings of the tall ships. Hello, my friend. Good morning.
Good morning. I know that you're not supposed to give yourself nicknames, but I kind of like Ultra Bulk. I kind of like rolling into a room and people being like, "Hey, Ultra Bulk's here."
Yeah.
Think I can pull that off? Or
I think you absolutely could.
Can we recreate this? Nobody's listening, probably, right? It's early on a Monday.
I'm barely listening.
Yeah, so what we need to do is just like sort of astroturf this a little bit. The next time you and I are hanging out in person at some sort of social gathering, I need you to just sort of spring that on me. No, don't tell anybody I came up with it. Just be like, "Hey, my buddy Ultra Bulk's here," and like then it'll just take off like wildfire, which is actually bad this time of year.
Like my nickname for Jorge Polanco, a.k.a. Rango.
Rango, the way that is just
How I've been astroturfing that like crazy with absolutely no impact. Nobody is buying it. Not in any state. Not in Washington, not in Wisconsin.
What do you think of his other nickname, Polo? People call him Polo because it's Polanco. And so our buddy, you and Durs, you don't realize this because you've blocked Durs. You've muted Durs on the text chain.
Out of love.
But this is a very true story. You and he are both, and you and he are both trying to astroturf something on that text chain, and he actually follows up with me. He's like, do you like the thing I do? Do you like the thing I do with Polanco? And you're always like, do you like the Rango? Do you like that I call him Rango? The thing
I don't ask if you like Rango. I declare that it's the nickname that's sweeping the nation.
There is one big difference there, I guess. But Durs is like, do you like the way I posted a shirt? He uses an emoji of a shirt.
Like a polo shirt?
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know what the shirt emoji looks like on an Apple iPhone, but when I receive those, it just looks like a T-shirt. to me. So I don't know if your guys' shirts look more like polo shirts, but it's just like you're both really excited about the thing that you're doing for Polanco. But the irony is you're not even seeing his because you've muted him.
2 ships passing in the night. Speaking of ships, Andrew, the irony that I was doing a horrible job introducing you today and talking about your depictions of the tall ships because I was distracted by actual ships. There is so much happening in the Columbia River right now. It's wild. So I told you Ultra Bulk just steamed past.
Wait, I thought you meant I just told you Ultra Bulk.
Yeah. Hey, Ultra Bulk, I just said your namesake. With two tugboats kind of helping guide it. And then whizzing past it in the opposite direction, a huge ship called Saga Welco. Not to be confused with Wilco, my beloved band. SAGAWELCO. Saga Welco.
The name of your Wilco cover band, I believe.
That's right. Just absolutely bombing down the Columbia in the direction of Portland. And then we've got another tugboat that's pushing some kind of a thing. It's just like a very active day out there. A little too active because I'm actually getting distracted. It's like, you know how you play your little, you used to play your Hex Empire game?
Yeah.
And there's like an amount of occupying your brain that actually helps you to maybe be better at doing the show, but then there's an amount that's too much.
Yes.
Like 1 boat per show while you and I are talking is the right amount of boat for me. That's just kind of like, it's something for my eyes to look at, but I don't get distracted. We've got a full-on, shipping, I wouldn't say emergency, but it is a busy day on the mighty Columbia.
You have so many boats, so many ships, and we do have a lot of voicemails to get to. And I'm not trying to rush you off of boat
Some
talk.
of them delivered, by the way, by a boat.
I would assume some of these were shipped here. Absolutely.
The Saga Welco might be taking even more voicemails down to Portland, where they will then be put on the TBTL line.
Now, I've noticed something weird here. The past week, or however long we've been doing this, you stand in front of the wheel and spin it, and then you tell me what the name is. For some reason, you're standing behind the wheel today.
I didn't like... this is a thing with me and round objects, okay? I can't wear... I have a round face as it is. I have a round Irish face.
Oh, okay.
And I can't wear sunglasses that are round because it just makes my face even more round. I have to kind of... And I realized standing in front of the round wheel was making me look almost like a perfect circle. You know those little drawings of, characters, but, one guy is kind of a triangular, one guy's kind of circular. That's how kids learn their shapes.
Yeah.
And, one guy's like a fedora on. I looked like Mr. Circle, and it wasn't it wasn't flattering. So it was like being a corn dog at a hot dog party. And so I'm now standing behind the wheel.
You're kind of hiding behind the wheel. It's almost like the perfect Venn diagram. You're eclipsed by the wheel.
Yes. You can just see me. Just my eyes are poking over the top of the wheel like the neighbor on Home Improvement.
That's right. Your nose is nose is hanging over the fence.
What that means is I can spin the wheel from here.
Okay.
It has a back. There are actually handles and levers on the back, kind of like changing out the score at Fenway Park. That's kind of what I'm doing here. But when I spin it, you're going to have to tell me where it lands because I actually can't see the front of the wheel.
All right. This sounds like good teamwork, actually.
Here.
So can you spin it? Let's see if you can actually spin it.
I'm going to give it a spin. It's been sitting here all weekend. I hope it hasn't seized up on us. Okay, here we go.
Rusty.
Oh, good.
That's good.
Nice.
I love that sound.
Yeah. The crack of the bat, the spin of the wheel.
All right. I need to look really closely here, but I think that says, whoa. You got a drum set?
I have a drum set behind the wheel. You can't see it. I also learned how to play drums over the weekend.
Wow, this is a lot.
The key is you got to let the stick bounce on the snare.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
There it is over there. It looks like this has landed on Teresa. And I do have a little note here. It says Teresa's voicemail has to do with colonoscopy talk. Luke, do you remember when I had my colonoscopy?
Who can forget?
We talked a lot about the prep.
I think we got a Peabody Award for that. Or maybe it was a Poobody.
It was a Poobody Award.
I apologize for that.
Did you know?
That even got
when
you.
When you said Peabody, did you know what you were doing? I didn't. No. As soon as you said Peabody, I was going to say more like Poop Body, but we got there at the same time. I thought maybe you were setting yourself
Show
up
title,
for that.
Peabody Award winning?
Maybe. We're going to think on that. Okay. So anyway, I know this is in reference. I mean, this could be so old that it goes back to your colonoscopy, but my guess is Teresa called in during the time that I was preparing for my colonoscopy. colonoscopy. And
You
of
got
course,
the good one, too. I got to go back in 3 years. You don't have to go back for 5 years.
7. I was on the
7?
Yeah, I'm 7 years.
Jeez.
Yeah. So anyway, of course, I was really obsessed with the prep, the diet that you must start like I don't know, a few days out, and then of course you have to drink all that stuff that makes you go to the bathroom and empty out your system. And they're very, very strict about not having anything at all in your system in that like 2-hour window before you head in.
Here I go. It's Teresa. And I went in to have my colonoscopy a few months ago, and morning of, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember that I could take, my vitamins and a couple of those pills I need to take, and I'll just take a little sip of water, and off we'll go and get to the colonoscopy place and checking in, and they say, when was the last time you had something by mouth? And I'm like, oh, well, I just took, a couple of pills and a little, splash of water to wash them down. And there's this dead silence. And they're like, when was that? And I'm like, oh, an hour and a half ago. And they're like, you cannot have anything by mouth any time less than 2 hours, from the time we get you started. And I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe it was a little longer than that. And they're not believing me. And
pulling the burbs.
And they say, well, we can't do the colonoscopy. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I just drank a 50-gallon barrel of this stuff, and you're not going to do the colonoscopy? Because I took a couple of pills an hour and a half ago, and they're like, yeah, we can't do it. And, well, I'm not drinking this stuff again. And they said, well, you can have it without anesthesia. I'm like, oh, my God.
Checkmate.
A lot of countries do it without anesthesia, and you could do this. So I had my colonoscopy without anesthesia. Oh, man, it is tough getting around those corners. The good news, you get to watch the whole thing and listen to the nurse and doctors all chat about, what their kids are, doing for lunch that afternoon. And I could have driven myself home. Power out.
Do you know that that's only the second story I've heard of somebody who's done this without anesthesia? And the first person who told me about it said he just wanted to know what the experience was like. I'm not even joking.
Wow. That is not where I was expecting that story to go. I was expecting it to either be the case that Teresa said, well, can I wait a half hour? Can I time out the, let's say I took the vitamins in the water an hour and a half ago. Can I just wait another half hour and then it'll be 2 hours? Or they offered her the non-anesthetized version, and she said, I'll just go ahead and drink another 50-gallon barrel of whatever that is. I did not expect... I mean, listen, Andrew, I don't want to take this to an overly physical place, but when they say without anesthetic, does that mean without anesthetic? Does that mean... Is there a local?
I don't think so, because I don't...
Can they give you
you can't localize the trip through all the twists and turns,
Well, to me, it's like, okay, none of this sounds like something I would probably survive. But my sense of it is, once something is actually in the interior of your body, if I understand right, you don't have a lot of nerves in your organs. Because the organ now the question is, do you have nerves? You must have nerves within your digestive tract, though, because that's why you can feel if you have a stomach ache, if you have discomfort, right? You can actually feel that, probably because there's a use for that. It's your body is able to tell you, hey, we're hurting. Meanwhile, I don't think you have nerves in some of your internal organs, because I guess the idea is your body doesn't need to know if those organs are kind of in pain or not.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if this was from the word go. An intrusion into Teresa's body that then just continued for the better part of an hour. I don't know how a person... That sounds horrendous.
That sounds horrendous. But as Teresa said, like, some countries don't put you under for this. And I'm not joking. I met this guy. I mean, he was a guy who was dating a friend of mine. And I think I saw him at a holiday party or something. Yeah. And I don't know him. I don't know him all that well. He's a really sweet guy, though. I really liked him. And He just said, it was around the time I think I was getting ready to have my colonoscopy, and he said, oh, yeah, I just had mine. And he said, yeah, I did mine without anesthetic. I'm like, why would you do that? He's like, I just wanted to know what the experience was like, and I know that other countries do that, and I just wanted to know what it was like. I was like, well, more power to you, buddy, but that's not how
I would have been knocked out a week before.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'd want
medically allowed.
I want them to knock me out for anything. I woke up this morning, I was brushing my teeth, and for a very split second, I was worried that I felt a little sensitivity in one of my teeth. Now, I have never had a cavity. I think you know that about me. So I am deathly afraid of having a cavity worked on. And today, you know how it is. I was just brushing my teeth, and your mind wanders, and I think, what if I'm getting my first cavity at age almost 50? I'm just like, well, then you have to get it drilled out, but they'll just put you under for that. I'm like, you're an idiot. They don't put you under for that. That is one of the things that you hear about all the time. Of course, like millions upon millions upon millions of people have cavities, taken care of all the time. Nobody's knocking you out for that. But for me, the idea of somebody drilling into my head, it's an impossibility. It's an absolute impossibility. So I just brushed my teeth even harder. But like, yeah,
brush right through that enamel.
Exactly.
Right down to the nerve.
I wanted to be, I was honestly fantasizing just this morning about being knocked out for a cavity filling.
Well, that is a service. Sedation dentistry. They were advertising it on Cairo. I feel like there must have been lawsuits. I haven't heard a lot of ads for it. I don't want to, make a glib joke about a potentially dark thing, but I mean, sedation dentistry does sound a little bit like, I would like to be, here's the thing, I don't want to be maximally conscious when stuff's happening. I don't want to be for that minimally conscious either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be.
Do. I want sedation everything. I want sedation breakfastry. I want sedation.
I want Sudeikis dentistry.
I want Sudeikis dentistry.
I want the actor Jason Sudeikis to. I want. What's his name? What's the cute? I want Ted Lasso himself.
Yes.
To drill, baby, drill.
One other thing that stood out to me about this is you think about the colonoscopy prep as you need your body to be fully emptied for the purpose of them, snaking up there and looking at everything with the camera. But what I forget is that last 2-hour window, it's not about keeping your bowels empty for the cameras, as it were, but because it goes along with any procedure that you need to be sedated for. Like with anesthesia, you no matter what the procedure is, that's the rule, the 2-hour rule, I think.
Are they worried that you'll choke?
I don't know. I'm thinking that must have something to do with it.
Because at first I sort of missed the part where I just sort of selectively forgotten the part where Teresa said she took some vitamins. And I was thinking, well, if you drank water, I know that's one of the things, right? Like no drinking any water. It's like, what possible harm could water do at that point? It seems like if anything, it would be helping. It would be further kind of rinsing everything out. Like you'd think, like, because the other stuff makes sense because they don't want to come along and find something and think that it's a polyp and actually it's just a Skittle. Or it's a brown M&M,
or one of those pills if they didn't dissolve.
Right, I guess that's. But you're saying that the issue was less about the camera work down in the gutty works and more about the fact that you cannot have ingested anything orally within 2 hours of them putting you under. That makes me think it's because there's some sort of a danger.
Yeah,
of choking or something.
Yeah, Teresa definitely said that's obviously it. If they were able to do the colonoscopy knowing that she'd had a splash of water and a few pills, it wasn't about the colon, but it was about the anesthesia, and that's why they did it without putting her to sleep.
Like, I don't want to see, forget the physical discomfort. The idea that person that you were talking to, Andrew, said they wanted to understand the procedure, that's also just like, that is impossible for me to understand, wanting to know more about the procedure.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't want to be awake for this conversation, to be honest with you. This is a little bit much. And I will say this, this is hard for me to say here because the listeners listen to me for weeks, get kind of nervous and not complain, but certainly fret about my colonoscopy prep. But having been through it, and I don't think this is one of those things where I forgot the onerous parts of it, because I remember saying this even while I was going through it. Once I was finally going through it, I mean, like drinking all of the chemical stuff that makes you go to the bathroom and whatever. Like, I remember thinking, like, okay, Now I'm doing it. It's doable. It was all of the unknowns. It was like the people hearing a million different stories, good and bad, about what it's like to drink this stuff and how it's going to affect you. And I was just really in my head about it. But once I was doing it, I was like, okay, well, this is what it looks like. You know, you go to the bathroom a lot. And it wasn't great. I'm not going to do it all the time, but I would certainly do that again before going in there without anesthesia. Like I would just say, just give me a couple more weeks then. You know, you do these, you know, every, again, 10 years or something anyway, between 5 and 10 years usually. So it's like a few weeks isn't going to be the difference. So like give me a few weeks to get regulated again, just enjoy my life for a little bit, and then I'll batten down the hatches and then open up the hatches. And
batten down and then throw the hatches wide open.
Just wide open.
Well, that's
and
the
I would
thing.
just do it again. Like, I know it takes a lot more time as a course of days. And I guess Teresa was like, well, just let's get this over with. But I would just have been like, you know what, I'll do this another day.
No, I mean, that would have absolutely been my... Well, first of all, I would have been really mad. I would have been like, come on. But then I would have been like, okay, well, see, that's the thing. I feel like... I don't know if you heard me muttering when we were playing Teresa's voicemail, but I muttered checkmate because I thought that was checkmate from the medical professional. Like, well, you know, there is a way we could do the colonoscopy today, but it involves putting you on a medieval rack.
Right.
And full-on Ramsey Boltoning you. Like, and then I'm sure that that's the point at which most people go, all right, I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess when I said checkmate, I guess I meant checkmate from listener Teresa.
Yeah, she's
because I'd like to see the look on that nurse's face when Teresa said, "I'll see your non-anesthetized colonoscopy and raise you. I'm a freak."
I was wondering what we were going to be raising. I'll tell you what, it seems like a great time to spin that wheel. Can you spin that wheel?
Probably. All right, here we go. All right, hold on.
Oh, you were far away.
Move it over
your
closer
mic
to the
was far
microphone.
away from it.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, where did it land?
This says anonymous. Is it somebody's name, ANON, or is it actually? I think it's just anonymous.
Oh, it's Ann. No, it's Ann Nemus. It's Ann.
It's Ann Nemus. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna.
First name Ann, last name Onimus.
Yeah, I'm going to just cross-reference.
I can't see the name, so I'm sort of winging it on that.
It says Anon, and I'm cross-referencing it here. I do have a voicemail here that says Anon, so I have a couple of them, but I'm going to assume it's this one here. I don't know what this is about.
Hey there. Just finishing up Friday's show and listening to Middle Shelf Maggie talk about the pencil point that's in her body.
Oh, do you remember this?
A little bit. I remember that the thing that you had stuck under your fingernail led to a long conversation and many pieces of listener feedback about the stuff that's stuck in their bodies.
Exactly. And so I had that splinter, and then I was like, maybe it just lives in there forever, the way you have a splinter or something like that.
A thorn.
That has, thorn. That must have, what do you call it when vegetation turns into stone?
Petrified.
You have like a petrified
I am petrified by this thorn.
So anyway, and then Maggie from the Middle Shelf said that, somebody, I can't remember exactly what happened, but in grade school, somebody stuck a pencil in her knee, and there was still some lead in there, and that's what this person's referring to.
Hey there. Just finishing up Friday's show and listening to Middle Shelf Maggie talk about the pencil point that's in her body. And it reminded me that I have a pencil mark on my butt, which is a more appropriate TBTL story.
That wheel knows what it's doing, man.
It is all butt stuff today.
How's it that we always end up talking about buttholes at this poker game?
I didn't know you had that drop, but that is perfect. Back to Ann E. Anonymous.
So I was probably in fourth grade and went to sit down in my desk chair. We were arranged in groups, and Stuart Pesco held his pencil out, and I sat on it, and the point went into my butt. Needless to say, old Stuart got in a lot of trouble, and I was invited over to his house by his mother, who was a judge. so that she could tell me that he only did it because he had a crush on me.
Probably
And,
true.
yada, yada, yada. But meanwhile, all these many years later, that gray mark is still in the middle of my butt. It hasn't moved anywhere, but it will always remind me of Stuart. Power out.
Wow. Not putting a name to that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You did the crime. You got to do the time, i.e., you have to get, referenced on the show. I'm trying to see if we can find, I wonder.
I hate this kid, by the way. I'm so mad at him right now.
Is it? No, that's a different spelling. I'm trying to locate the adult version of this guy.
Yeah, I was going to
I'm having a little bit. I'm having a little bit of trouble. Also, we don't know how Stuart is spelled. If it's Stuart or Stewart or what. But this reminds me, Andrew, of I've told this story on the show before, and we don't have a ton of time today because I gotta toddle off to Ron Tonkin. They are on me, like this pencil mark on that listener on Ann Nemes's. But they are on my ass, Ron Tonkin, because my car's been saying, bring it in for service forever, and I don't want to do it because it's a hassle. Anyway, I did something like this where I put a pin out. I put a pin on, I put something sharp on the seat of a classmate. I think I started out wanting to put it on the seat of my teacher, and then I got scared, and then I moved it to a classmate.
Was it like a tack? Or a push pin?
It was sort of like a tack, but worse, because I think what it was maybe an actual pin stuck through like one of those puffy stickers. So it was worse than just a tack. A thumbtack doesn't go that far. And it might have been more like a needle. I don't know. It was so bad. The quick story is there was a book at the book fair. I've talked about it before called like 50 Ways to Sink a Sub or something like that. And I got it in my head that it was our sworn duty as students, if we had a sub, to sink them. Like we had to take down a substitute teacher at all costs. And so in my mind, somehow this putting a pin on their chair, like that was going to get the sub. But then, of course, I got afraid of doing it to the teacher. So I had made this little weapon, and that's all you could really call it, is a weapon. And I think instead of putting it on the teacher's chair, I then put it on a student's chair. And I remember her sitting down and getting poked and jumping right back up. And I remember when she was almost sitting down being like, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to do this. But I couldn't stop it. I mean, I could have stopped it. I could have yelled. Anyway, I, to this day, feel horrific about that. Like, what a mean thing to do. And it just one of those things where, like, sometimes you're a kid and you just, like, obviously you don't think things through, but also it's just like, I don't know. I really very strongly wish that, of course, I would have never done that. It's one of my major regrets from childhood. So I'm just standing up for Stuart.
You didn't have
Stuart
a crush,
might also regret it.
You didn't have a crush on this kid? It was just somebody who happened to just, like, have a seat near you? Or is there a reason?
I think it was a girl student, so I probably did. I had a crush on every single female student in my class.
Yeah.
By virtue of the fact that they were a girl.
Yep.
So probably I did, but I don't think this was not my way consciously of trying to get her attention. In fact, I think when it happened, they couldn't figure out who did it. Thankfully, this was, I guess you could say thankfully, back in the day before there was any, like, there was no documentation of this. There was no cameras. There was, like, it was kind of just like somebody did something really bad. And I remember the girl was okay. She didn't have to go to the nurse's office. I just think it was kind of a shocking poke. But I still feel really bad about that.
By the way, 13 ways. I think it's 13 ways to sink a
13 ways,
sub.
only 30? Maybe I was thinking of the Paul Simon song.
Yeah. And it's number 1 in the Hobie Hansen series.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this is Hobie Hansen book number 1. So apparently, Hobie Hansen is a character that a bunch of books were written about. And this is the official description on Amazon. Although I will say, this seems like it doesn't seem like a hugely popular book. There's no art to go along with it. There's no, like, cover art on this. I'm kind of surprised by that. But it says Hobie Hansen and the rest of this is how am I doing? We're starting over. We're going to take a breath. Hobie Hansen and the rest of his 4th grade class can't believe their luck. Mr. Starr, their teacher who never gets stick. I think that's supposed to be sick, but it says stick. Their teacher who never gets stick is not in school. That means they're getting a sub. That means it's time for...
Sink 'em.
Can you tell? Try to figure out which words are all caps. That means they're getting a sub. That means it's time for class to have some fun. The words are those are what's capitalized. It's boys against girls in the fight to see who can sink the sub faster. And what starts with simple name changing leads to an all-out flood in the classroom. Does any of that ring a bell?
Yes. So name changing, of course, would be not telling the teacher your real name.
Pretending you're one of the other students and everybody's swapping around their names.
And this is the thing about when we had this sub and I tried to sink her and then got scared and then assaulted a fellow student.
Yeah.
Nobody else, I think, was in on this. It wasn't like anyone else was reading that book. So it wasn't like everyone was like, we got a sub, let's sink him. This existed only in my mind. I may have been the only person who read that book. I may have been the person who wrote that review.
You might have. Yes, well, that
is
fun. Sub. Fun. By the way, it's also listed on Goodreads with kind of a more confusing summary that I'm not going to read the whole thing here, except for the very end. It says they are prepared. This is the students. No stranger could possibly withstand the volley from their vast arsenal of sub-sinkers, except perhaps Miss Ivanovich. It soon becomes clear that it might not be the sub who sinks. This time, it might just be the students. I'll bet you it is. First published in 1982, Luke.
That would have been about the time that I was going to the book fair.
Yeah.
Well, I wish that listener the best with with the lead in their butt. I hope they were able to. You know what? Honestly, resentment is a prison that you live in. So I hope they've been able to forgive old Stewart, and I hope whoever that was that got their butt poked by my pin at Bagley Elementary School has been able to forgive me, because I haven't been able to forgive myself. I'll tell you that much.
This is like when people go into like the Alcoholics Anonymous program or whatever. You got to make reparation, or you got to like reach out to people and make
amends.
Yeah, maybe that's something that you should think about doing.
Oh my gosh, the deer family is walking through the yard right now.
Between boats and deer.
I know, there's a lot. Sorry, I apologize. This is what happens when I do my part of the show from an absolute, like a wonderland of stimuli here.
I have an answer for you, by the way, about why baby deer have spots, but they lose them as they get older.
Will you tell me on tomorrow's show?
I will. Try to.
We were discussing that at length off air, but I love that for tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love
it. All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. We will be back here tomorrow with more Imaginary Radio for you, so please do join us for that. In the meantime, have a great Monday, and please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to Ultra Bowl.
You've got to give me a new brainworm. This one stuck. I just said brainworm. I meant earworm. Let me start over. You've got to give me a new earworm. This one's stuck in my brain now, and I can't get it out of there. All that U2 talk on Friday, or whatever day it was. Bye. Power out.
Power out.